Hello everyone, as I mentioned in my last video about Last Epoch, I started to play the game a couple of weeks ago, and I'm quite surprised at how good the game is, and I'm addicted to play it. Last Epoch is perfect, without flaws and bugs. Of course not, but the great potential is there. They announced recently the Last Epoch will leave early access and release their version 1.0 in February 2024, 3 months from now, and I was wondering if the game is ready for the release. I decided to jump into Last Epoch community in Reddit, and I found the community is great, really involved with the game, and have great expectations about the release for next year. What best feedback can we get about the Last Epoch? What should be done and fixed, then hear what the actual players have to say. So I decided to create a post in Last Epoch Reddit community asking this. What do you think should be fixed in Last Epoch 1.0 to compete with other RPGs? The response and feedbacks were much bigger than I expected, and that show how involved the community is with the game. So let's take a closer look about the main feedback from the players. The first comment I would like to talk about it is this one. Playing online with others is a really bad experience for a lot of people. That and the many bugs. Everything else is mostly good or on the right track. Yes, I'm playing it online. There are some issues regarding the connection. The offline, it's a different experience, but even so the game is great. Another comment. As far as I'm concerned, they just have to fix current bugs and they are good to go. I totally agree with this one. We have also this comment regarding the bugs. They need to sort out all the bugs, sanctum, loading times, unresponsive friendlies, stuff like that before I will even think about what needs to change in the gameplay. As it is right now, if I play online for a couple of hours, I'm basically guaranteed to run into something that is broken. I imagine they will attempt to address most of this in 1.0 launch next year. But seeing their track record on big patch release since multiplayer was introduced, I don't have great expectation. Game is very good to me, gameplays wise, but on the technical side it is so far beyond the competition it's not even funny. I don't agree with this one. I think the game is really funny. I'm sure the developers are working the best they can to provide us the best experience, but even so it's a valid comment. This comment is quite interesting. Give it a few years. It's a new game, so there is no point hoping it can compete with other content right out the gate. Everything you just mentioned was released months, even years apart in PoE. Bug fixes are a must. Everything else can be added as time goes on. I totally agree. That was why I'm so surprised with Last Epoch. I consider that it's not a big studio. It's we can say a new game, but so far for the gameplay and the content they have so far, it's great. Okay, of course PoE has a lot of years in the market, Diablo franchise also, but so far I think Last Epoch is in the great place to compete with the other RPGs. Now a comment about the end game. This is a big discussion in the games like Last Epoch. A lot more variety in the end game activities. I feel like it was just the time reaps. There was no open world content like world bosses or outdoor events. Then again, it's not as much of an open world as Diablo 4, and I don't know how PoE is. Compare it to Green Dawn, I would say it's on par. I would personally like to see a tree-like devotions from Green Dawn or Paragon from Diablo to give players something more to strive for at maximum level, make it endless to a point, so you have more reasons to play at the endgame. As it stands now, I got quite bored at the endgame. I'm not in the endgame so far, but from everything I read, the endgame can be improved. But this is a big discussion in RPG games, the endgame, okay? I know they can improve, everyone has complaints, even in PoE or Diablo 4. Probably that is one of the reasons of the big success of PoE, it's the end game. A very positive comment we have here. It can already compete with Diablo 4 and PoE. Biggest thing they need to fix are bugs and multiplayer, loading screens, etc. Everything else is there and more content will come. Yeah, I'm positive sure this will happen, and I think Last Epoch it's in a very good place so far when comparing with other games such as Diablo 4 and PoE. Now we have a comment comparing the Last Epoch to other games to be released in the next year. PoE 2 is only closed beta and Green Dun is just on offline RPG, so for now I will not even bother there. All I want to faction system work as it should, that alone its next step in RPG, and first cycle to be decent, that's all. I understand what you mean perfectly. We had that experience in Diablo 4 where this season 1 was a failure, let's be honest. We have here another comment, positive for Last Epoch. By my standards, it was good to release 2-3 years ago in terms of content and features. It kept me entertained for weeks. The only thing I was missing was a monolith league mechanic favoring completion over running to the end of the echo. It really is just bug and performance. Also, the amount of new content created over the span of 3 months has been good, so I have high hopes of people coming back each season and eventually feeling great about the quantity of stuff added. I totally agree, I'm really excited and looking forward for the release next year and the first cycle. And finally, the last comment. I left this one for the ending because we have several points in the same comment. Major things. Endgame, monoliths and dungeons are very good foundation to build upon, but I would love to see more goals. Final boss will be a good start to give some direction for the endgame. Class balance, all classes are fun to play, but there is clear division between OP class and the ones that struggle later on. Set items, I hate set items in RPG, but even that aside, in Last Epoch sets are pretty useful. So either get rid of them or do another balance pass to make them more useful for all classes. Level design, there are still a lot of dead ends and empty space on the maps. Minor things, shadow below character. Right now there are plenty of places where there is no shadow below characters, making it look like it's floating in the air. Light radius plus shadow, like in other RPG, will be nice. Character floating while holding mouse close to character. It's so weird, but character floats around if you move mouse nearer to it. Looks janky as hell. Anyway, game is great but requires some polishing. Can't wait for the release. I totally agree with this comment. I'm looking for the release, and besides some polish and some bug fixes that I'm sure developers are aware and are working on it, I'm pretty sure the game will be great. So this is all the comments I get together from the post on Reddit, and you are maybe wondering if Last Epoch is ready for the release and compete to the other RPGs. My answer is a big yes. Of course, there are some things that they need to improve. I'm sure the developers are working on it and they are aware what I have to do. But so far it's been a really great surprise. I know it's not such popular game so far, but my idea with this video is people take a close look into Last Epoch, because the game has a great potential, the gameplay is really funny, has many things I would love to see, for example in Diablo 4, the other game I'm playing, and the Last Epoch has such great things. Okay, this is my feedback and my opinion. I will keep bringing some new content about the game in the channel. I hope you like it. Please don't forget to give your comments about Last Epoch, if you already play it or not, if you are liking, what things you want to have improvement in the game, or the things you would like to see in the upcoming cycles, which will be seasons in the Last Epoch. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give your like, and as always, be happy and have fun.